YouTube, how's everybody doing today? I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. I got an interesting video for you today. In this video, we're going to be going over some basic tips on how I got to diamond again on another account. So now I have two accounts that have successfully reached diamond. Now I know some people say diamond isn't the greatest. Obviously you want to make masters and or pred. To be honest, I have to spend a lot more time in order to make masters. I have to learn how to play in diamond lobbies more effectively. However, I think I've gotten bronze to diamond down pretty good. In my first account, I learned a lot, and the second account, I basically applied everything I learned, and I was able to get to diamond on the second account in about 2 weeks, mostly solo queue on top of that. So here's everything I learned. This is probably some basic tips for you. If you guys like this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe. I'd highly appreciate it. Also, more importantly, don't forget to follow me over on twitch.tv/RamosKid_, where we do all these videos right in front of you live. You can watch live gameplay, we can talk and chat, we can talk about anything, how I feel about the game, whatever's going on. We're going to quickly go over KP and give a quick brief understanding of how this works. Understanding how KP works and RP works will help you reach higher ranks later down the line. So KP, or kill points in short, is basically every kill and or assist that you get that count towards points towards the end of the game. The max KP that you can have, kills or assists, is 6. Anything above that will not help you that much. However, of course, who doesn't want 10 kills a game? You know what I'm saying? Especially in the earlier lobbies, I typically got as much KP as I could get. It didn't matter if I was already at max, I kept going. There was plenty of games where I got at least 8, 9, 10 kills a game with a couple assists. So I was way double, if not, you know, I was way higher than the maximum allowed KP that would actually help you. The main thing you have to think about is mainly winning the game. Once you start hitting the higher placements and there's only less than 10 teams alive, placement is huge. That gets you the majority and the bulk of your points. If you have max KP and you end up winning the game, you have a chance to win over 200 points in RP that could really boost you in rank. If there are 14 teams left, all the teams will achieve at least a little bit of placement points, not a lot. First, it starts off anywhere from 14 to 11. You get a 10 kill assist multiplier. 10 to 6 gives you 12, top 5 gives you 15, top 3 gives you 20, and the number 1 spot or the win gives you a multiplier of 25. On top of winning the game, they will also give you 100 extra RP points. That puts you over the 200 RP mark if you have max KP. So with that being said, let's get on to the rest of the guide. All right, let's start with tip number 1, and that would be play with confidence. Confidence is key. What I mean by that is that if you're in the beginning of your ranked journey and you're starting off in bronze, many players in bronze will be very low skill, or at least they will play very afraid because, you know, ranked, everybody thinks you're going to be losing something and nobody wants to derank. However, in bronze, you will literally lose your RP. I mean, you could literally just go throughout the whole game, not get a single kill, not shoot a single bullet, potentially win the game, and you'll rank up slowly but surely. You basically have to do the absolute bare minimum to get out of bronze. So with that being said, I'm not going to say push everybody, but play with some confidence. They're not very good. You can easily say the same thing for silver and gold. However, silver, you got some people that can shoot. In gold, you have more people who can shoot. So scale effectively. Also, one thing to keep in mind is that if it's the beginning of a split or the beginning of a season, everybody has effectively been D-ranked as per the game allows. So if you're ending the season in gold 1, you'll be kicked back to silver 2. It's 1 full rank and 2 placements. So in your head, you'll be thinking, why am I playing so bad? I'm in silver lobbies. Why is everybody so twisted? Everybody got kicked back, so some of the higher tier players are technically a low rank for the moment until the ranking system filters everybody out again. Give it about a week if you're really having a hard time trying to make some progress. Tip number 2, you will not be punished for overextending too much in all lobbies that are less than plat. What this means is that if you kind of run into a team solo, you may not get punished for it. You probably won't get punished for it in bronze, mainly because if you're running into bronze players, like I said, they're typically not the greatest player. That doesn't mean you won't run into an absolute demon. Always keep that in mind. However, you could potentially get away for it. You can make an escape. You could do some stuff. You could win the whole fight overall by yourself. It's very possible. However, once you start getting to gold and plat, overextending, you can really get punished for it. You can kill, you can throw the game for your team. and your teammates will probably just be pissed at you. So in the beginning, don't be afraid to overextend just a little bit, but then once you get to the higher ranks, play more as a unit, play more as a team, and you'll be able to effectively eliminate the majority of the lobby so that you can get as much KP and RP at the end of the game. Tip number 3, movement. So when it comes to movement, I understand not everybody has the greatest movement, and movement takes time, a lot of practice. And bronze to silver, movement isn't the most crucial thing to know or to be good at. However, once you start reaching gold and plat, movement is not necessarily key, but it's definitely important. As you progress through the ranks, make sure you understand movement, especially with your legend. Different legends have different movement abilities. In the case of Horizon, when she falls from higher surfaces and she hits the ground, she isn't necessarily stunned or kind of stuck there for that half a second while she recovers. She kind of just keeps it moving. So some people love that ability about her, and they can keep movement flowing very effectively with her. However, she's the only legend that can do that. So I would suggest to learn how to deal without it. There are also other numerous movement tips. This isn't a movement guide. I'm probably not the guy for a movement guide, but it's out there. It's on YouTube. Go look at it. Tip number 4, you have more freedom to play other legends than you will in higher ranked lobbies. You're not necessarily restricted to a main legend or to whoever your favorite legend is in the higher lobby, so you have a little freedom to mess around. What I have noticed this season in season 10 on this second half of the split, especially because we're on King's Canyon and not World's Edge, is that typically the meta is a Gibby, a Valk, and some other type of notable legend, typically Bloodhound, sometimes Octane. It all depends on the person and how good and or comfortable they are with that legend. However, almost every team in the higher rank lobbies will typically have a Gibby, mainly for defensive plays. Or on World's Edge on the first half of the split for season 10, there was plenty of Octanes running around. Bronze through gold, you have a lot of freedom. Platinum, there's preferred legends to have. Just keep that in mind. If you are comfortable playing different legends that is not necessarily your main, don't be afraid to switch to a legend that's necessarily good for the team. It's always good to have a Bloodhound. It's always good to have a Gibby. It's always good to have Octane. However, if you like playing Fuse in the earlier lobbies, go right ahead. Tip number 5. Now this is for when you start to reach platinum, plat 4, plat 3, right? Once you have successfully reached platinum, now you got to really start playing smart. You can't W key every person. You can't make a forehead play. You can't just think you're going to win every fight, because remember, now you're facing some decent player, some people who know how to shoot straight. They have a good sense of how to play the game. So you have to play this a lot smarter and definitely prioritize a win, because that's what's going to get you all the points that you need. Not every plat lobby that you play and you make it to end game or to the top 5 situation will you have max KP. There are plenty of situations, or there's plenty of games where going into the top 10, I only had 1 or 2 KP. Kills or assists. However, if we were able to make it to the top 3 or even the top 2 situation, I had a couple more, because the end game gets very tight and you have a lot more opportunity to pick up more kills and or assists. However, even if you do lose the game and you come second place, remember that is still a huge game. As long as you have some KP, even half KP, that's still a good amount of points. If you get second place right now, you get at least plus 60. Once you add the kill multiplier into that, you'll get a couple more, probably looking at 80 to 90 range. So even if you can't get that win, second place is still really, really good. The other thing to remember for platinum lobbies is that you have to now prioritize position. Good positioning will help you win more games, win more fights. Many people say that good positioning is better than a good gun. Good gunning is always good to have. Trust me, especially when you get to the higher tier lobbies, you definitely need good gunning. However, bad positioning will get you killed every time. And that's just a fact. Now, when it comes to your legend selection, now you definitely want to pick the right legend. You definitely want to keep in mind, you always want a Bloodhound generally available, a Gibby generally available. You don't necessarily have to have all 3 of those legends on your team, and you can have some variety still and still come out on top. We're not saying it's not impossible. However, having those legends abilities can help you win more games. Why do I pick Octane and Gibby? Here's why. Octane, if it's a 3v3 situation, you guys are fighting and your team happens to get one guy knocked, the Octane could effectively throw his pad and you could full court press this other team 3v2 situation. If you guys have decent gunning, or at least good gunning, you'll probably come out on top. Gibby, on the other hand, Gibby is great for defensive plays, and typically why he's towards the rear of the fight, he's the best supportive character that you could have at the moment. Caustic is also another great supportive character because it helps prevent pushes with caustic traps all over the place, and his ultimate's pretty good too. All right, guys, so those are my 5 basic tips, the things that I've generally learned getting to diamond twice, especially on this split. I pretty much did it solo. There was only a couple times I played with friends and we only played for a little bit. We didn't play for too long. I mostly did this bronze to diamond split solo. If you guys like this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe. I'd highly appreciate it. And don't forget to follow me over on Twitch. All right. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day and I'll see you guys in the next one.